Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Yeah, great to be back. And today we're doing a deep dive, inspired actually by a SpeakDuo lesson.
That's right. And just a quick reminder for you listening, you can always visit SpeakDuo.com. It's a fantastic place to connect with people worldwide, practice your English on video calls, and really boost that speaking confidence.
Definitely worth checking out.
So let's jump right in. These phrases are, I think, pretty essential for advanced learners. Our first one is something I suspect many of us do sometimes. It's to get in one's own way.
Mm-hmm. It's such a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I do this all the time.
Well, to get in your own way,
Yeah.
it basically means you hinder your own progress, your own success. Usually it's not like intentional sabotage, but more things like overthinking or perfectionism, maybe self-doubt.
Right.
You know, you could just say, I failed or I made a mistake, but this phrase points inward.
Ah, okay.
The obstacle is you. It's self-imposed, so it shows like a deeper self-awareness than just saying, oops, I messed up.
That makes sense. That nuance is really important. The source example is pretty clear. She wanted to perform well, but she kept getting in her own way with negative thoughts.
Exactly.
And you can totally see this at work, right? Imagine telling your boss, look, I really got in my own way on that project deadline. I was trying to make every tiny detail perfect instead of, hitting the main goal.
Right, focusing on the wrong things because of internal pressure.
Or like for an IELTS speaking part 2, talking about a challenge, you could say, well, initially I really got in my own way by overthinking the first few steps. It sounds quite insightful.
It absolutely does. It elevates the answer. So the source question asks, can you share a time when you got in your own way?
Mm-hmm.
And the sample answer is, yes. During a big interview, I got in my own way by over-preparing and sounding too rehearsed. See, it's not just I was nervous. It explains why it didn't go well.
Yeah, that's much more sophisticated. Okay, so sticking with this idea of internal things maybe going wrong, sometimes they escalate. Which brings us to our next phrase, to spiral out of control.
Oh, a very vivid one. To spiral out of control means things become increasingly chaotic, unmanageable.
More than just getting bad.
Exactly. It's not just getting worse. Spiraling suggests this accelerating, intensifying decline, like it's feeding on itself, getting harder and harder to stop, that dizzying downward movement.
Yeah, you can almost picture it. The source example really hits that. His anxiety spiraled out of control when he forgot his presentation notes.
Textbook example.
You could use it in a meeting, too, maybe talking about a project.
Yeah.
Honestly, the timeline started to spiral out of control because we didn't have clear oversight.
Or too many changes piling up, yeah.
Or, again, for IELTS managing stress. My stress levels began to spiral out of control until I learned, some breathing techniques.
It perfectly captures that escalating feeling. So the question provided is, what helps you when your stress starts to spiral out of control? And the answer is simple, but effective. I take deep breaths or go for a short walk to calm down. It acknowledges the intensity implied by spiral.
Right. It implies it was getting really bad fast. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From chaos to spontaneity.
Ah, nice transition.
The next phrase is off the cuff.
Off the cuff. Yeah, this means speaking or doing something without preparation, basically improvised.
So like unplanned?
Well, yes, but off the cuff often has this slightly more casual, maybe even skillful connotation. Like you're speaking naturally from spontaneous thought, not just because you didn't plan. It suggests a certain fluency.
I always picture someone literally looking at notes on their shirt cuff,
Uh-huh. Yeah, maybe that's the origin.
The example sentence is good. He gave a brilliant off-the-cuff speech at the wedding. Totally believable.
Mm-hmm.
I could see myself saying to a colleague, wow, Dave's summary in the meeting was completely off the cuff, but it sounded so polished.
Right, it highlights the impressiveness despite the lack of prep.
And for IELTS, if you're asked about speaking publicly without notice, saying you had to do it off the cuff really emphasizes that spontaneous, unprepared element.
Definitely shows good vocabulary for that kind of situation. The sample question, have you ever had to speak off the cuff in public?
Yep.
And the answer, yes. I was asked to say a few words at a farewell party, and I had nothing prepared. It nails that put-on-the-spot feeling.
Okay, so from being put on the spot to maybe actively tackling a problem before it gets too big.
Leading nicely into...
To stem the tide?
Yes, to stem the tide. This means to stop something, usually something unwelcome, from continuing or increasing.
So stronger than just stop a problem.
Much stronger, I think. It uses that powerful metaphor of a tide like rising water. It conveys urgency, effort against this advancing, overwhelming force. It's about actively pushing back.
Right, like holding back a flood. The source uses it well. Meditation helped her stem the tide of stress during exam week.
Perfect. Stopping it before it drowned her, essentially.
In a work context, the team might discuss, how can we stem the tide of these negative customer reviews?
Good one. It implies the reviews are increasing, becoming a problem wave.
Or in an IELTS answer about challenges. I tried to stem the tide of my procrastination by setting really small daily goals.
Excellent use. It shows you're actively intervening. The source question is, what techniques do you use to stem the tide of negative thoughts?
And the answer.
I try to journal or talk to a friend to shift my mindset. Again, it highlights taking action against that rising negativity.
Got it. Okay, next phrase. This one's about, well, delivering news, sometimes not so great news, to sugarcoat.
Ah, sugarcoat, yes. This means to make something seem more pleasant or more acceptable than it really is.
Like making bad news sound sweeter.
Kind of. But while you could say soften the truth, sugarcoat often implies a bit more, maybe deliberately hiding the harshness. Sometimes it even carries a slightly negative, like critical tone. Suggests you're not being fully honest about how bad it is.
Okay, so it's not always a positive thing. The source example is very direct. There's no way to sugarcoat this. Your test score was far below the passing mark.
Ouch. But clear.
Yeah. Or a manager might say, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this performance review. We need to see some major changes. Emphasizes the need for blunt honesty.
Exactly.
And for IELTS, discussing communication styles. You could talk about whether you prefer people to be direct or if you sometimes appreciate it when they try to sugarcoat difficult feedback.
It really taps into preferences around honesty. The question is straightforward. Do you prefer people to be direct or to sugarcoat their words?
And the answer.
I prefer honesty, even if it's hard to hear. Speaks volumes about valuing clarity.
Makes sense. Okay, next up, a phrase describing a state of mind. Very relevant today, I think. Present-oriented.
Yes, present-oriented. This means being focused on the current moment, not stuck in the past, not overly worried about the future, just here, now.
Like mindfulness.
Very much related. You could just say focused on the now, but present-oriented feels a bit more formal, maybe holistic. It suggests a whole mindset or approach often used when talking about psychology or well-being, a deliberate focus on the right now.
I see. The source example connects it directly. Mindfulness helps people become more present-oriented during stressful times.
Exactly.
You could imagine colleagues talking about productivity. You know, focusing on just this one task helps me stay present-oriented and stops me getting overwhelmed by everything else we have to do.
Right. It improves focus and reduces that feeling of being scattered.
Or for IELTS, talking about hobbies, my painting really helps me become more present-oriented. I just get lost in the colors and forget everything else.
That's a perfect application. It describes that state of flow. The sample question asks, what activities help you become more present-oriented?
And the answer gives examples.
Yep. Listening to music or exercising always helps bring me into the moment. It links the concept to concrete actions.
Nice. Okay, how about engaging people? Keeping their attention.
Crucial skill. Which leads us to
draw someone in.
Yes, to draw someone in means to capture their interest or attention.
So like get their attention.
Similar, but draw in feels more magnetic, compelling. Like you're gently but irresistibly pulling them into your story or idea. It's not just a quick grab for attention, it's about deeper engagement.
I like that, creating a real connection. The source example is simple but effective. Her story immediately drew the audience in.
Instantly engaging.
You hear speakers talk about this all the time, right? You need a strong opening to draw the audience in right away.
Absolutely. The first few seconds are key.
Or in an IELTS answer about good communication, I try to draw people in by asking questions or sharing something a bit personal, relatable.
That's exactly it, building that connection. The source question is, what's a technique you use to draw people in when speaking?
Okay.
And the sample answer gives practical tips. I usually start with a question or a funny story. Very common, effective ways to pull people into what you're saying.
Makes total sense. All right, okay, last one for today. A rather elegant verb, I think. To impart.
Yes, impart. It means to communicate or share knowledge, wisdom, information.
How is it different from just share or tell?
It feels more significant, often more formal. It suggests transferring something valuable, maybe profound insights, usually from someone with more experience or wisdom, like you're giving a precious gift of knowledge.
Right, there's a weight to it. The source example is clear. The mentor imparted valuable insights during the session.
Exactly. Not just facts, but insights.
You might describe a senior colleague. She's great at imparting her experience to the new team members.
Guides them, shares foundational knowledge.
Or for IELTS, talking about advice. My grandmother imparted this piece of wisdom to me and it really stuck. Suggests it was more than just casual advice.
Precisely. It implies depth and lasting value. The source question is, what's the best piece of advice someone has ever imparted to you?
Ooh, deep question.
And the answer reflects that. Focus on progress, not perfection. That really stuck with me. It shows the impact of the imparted wisdom.
Love that. Okay, fantastic stuff. Now, hopefully you've been listening closely.
Because it's quiz time.
Exactly. Time to test your understanding and help lock these phrases in. Ready? First question. What does it mean to get in your own way? Is it option A, to delay others from succeeding intentionally? Option B, to unintentionally prevent your own success? Or option C, to take full control of a group discussion? Feel free to pause the deep dive here if you need to think about the answer.
Okay, the correct answer is option B, to unintentionally prevent your own success. Remember our chat about self-sabotage, like over-preparing for that interview until you sound rehearsed. That's getting in your own way.
Perfect. Next question. If something spirals out of control, what happens? Is it option A, it begins to improve after difficulties? Option B, it gets worse and harder to manage over time? Or option C, it returns to a manageable and stable state? Take a moment if you need it. Pause right here.
And the answer is option B. It gets worse and harder to manage over time. Think about that anxiety escalating rapidly, like when someone forgot their presentation notes. It wasn't just bad, it was actively worsening and becoming unmanageable.
Got it. Question number 3. What does off the cuff mean when describing a speech? Is it option A, it was delivered with minimal preparation? Option B, it was written by someone else beforehand? Or option C, it followed strict timing and structure? Pause here to think it over.
The answer is option A. It was delivered with minimal preparation. Just like that improvised, maybe brilliant, wedding speech. Off the cuff means spontaneous, unplanned.
Excellent. Here's the next one. How is the phrase to stem the tide best understood? Is it option A, to accept a growing issue and adapt to it? Option B, to welcome an overwhelming situation calmly? Or option C, to reduce or halt something negative from growing? Feel free to hit pause if you need a second.
And the correct answer here is option C, to reduce or halt something negative from growing. Remember the idea of holding back that flood, like using meditation to stem the tide of stress, stopping it from increasing.
Great explanation. Moving on. What does it mean to sugarcoat something? Is it option A, to present a harsh truth with a softer tone? Option B, to reveal unpleasant facts in a blunt way? Or option C, to exaggerate something beyond recognition? Need a moment. Pause now.
If you chose option A, you are correct. To sugarcoat is to present a harsh truth with a softer tone, making it seem less unpleasant than it really is. Like when we said there's sometimes no way to sugarcoat bad news.
Exactly. Next up, when someone is described as present-oriented, what does it mean? Is it option A, they focus their attention on the current moment? Option B, they mainly worry about their future career? Or option C, they are usually stuck thinking about past mistakes? Take a moment to consider.
The answer is option A. They focus their attention on the current moment. Think about mindfulness helping people become present-oriented, really being in the here and now.
Perfect. Nearly done. What does it mean to draw someone in during a conversation? Is it option A, to politely exclude others from a dialogue? Option B, to push someone to leave a conversation early? Or option C, to engage someone by sparking their interest? Feel free to pause if you'd like.
And the correct choice is option C, to engage someone by sparking their interest. Like that compelling story that immediately drew the audience in, capturing their attention.
Fantastic. Last question of the quiz. What is a cold call in a learning environment? Is it option A, a scheduled quiz with prior notice? Option B, a sudden question directed without warning? Or option C, a discussion between peers about a topic? One last pause if you need it.
All right, the final answer is option B, a sudden question directed without warning. It's that surprise question in class, the one that makes your heart race, putting you on the spot.
Whew! Well done, everyone. That was a brilliant deep dive into some really superb English phrases.
Absolutely.
Using these really does help you sound more nuanced, more confident, just more advanced.
It really does. But Understanding them is just the first step. The real magic happens when you start using them.
Totally agree. Practice is key.
Trying to weave them into your conversations, your writing. That's how they become part of your active vocabulary.
And speaking of practice, don't forget SpeakDuo.com. Seriously, it's a great way to connect with other learners on video calls and actually use these kinds of phrases in real time.
Great suggestion.
So, as you leave us today, here's something to think about. Do these advanced phrases just change how you sound, or do they actually help you think differently? Maybe more precisely, about the situations and feelings they describe? Does stemming the tide feel different from just stopping a problem? Something to ponder?
Good question.
Keep listening for more insights and advanced vocabulary, and keep speaking superbly.